Hello, everyone. It's Michelle Mahar here today, and I'm here with Larisa Makuch. Thank you so much, Larissa, for giving me your time today so that we could have a discussion about these challenging times we're going through and how, as small business owners, entrepreneurs, we can navigate through these times to, get us through with a positive mindset and pivot in our business as necessary. So, Larissa, you want to let us know who you are and what you are all about?
Excellent. I am a success and mindset coach. And more than just a coach. I'm really a strategist because I love working with the mind, and I help you go from where you are to where you want to be, really using science and psychology to help you create permanent changes to really make huge shifts at the deepest level. So I do a lot of work with the unconscious mind. And I know in this pivotal time, we're all doing our best, right? We always do our best, but right now I think a lot of us are really doing our best to make some major changes in life. And I think we're all really reevaluating what's important, what's
Yes.
key in our lives, and what the whole definition of success is, and what a beautiful life is. But what the common thread is the power of the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, and connection. And so what I think, what I really do is I help you learn who you are at the deepest level so you can show up no matter where you are in your life, in your business, on Facebook, on Zoom, on whatever platform you may happen to be on, because that's going to not just help people that you're serving, it's also going to help yourself. When you feel really good, you are going to show up for others in so many ways. And I think right now in this world, we need to show up. We need to show up in a positive way. We need to show up with positive energy, because just focusing on the negative, it brings this toxic downward energetic spiral. And there's
Right.
no way we can help this go away or disappear by doing that. Yes, quarantine is necessary, but even beyond that, energetically, we all need to start really focusing on bringing our best selves forward. So,
Yes. Right. Exactly. And I would totally agree. What I did find when this first started and everything started to be canceled, what for me, I had live events where I had tables, for selling my jewelry going
yes,
forward, and then one was,
I have some.
yes, one was canceled after another. And then it just seemed to go in a downward spiral once they canceled, suspended the NBA season. Then everything else was being canceled, and then of course the whole grocery store ordeal of hoarding toilet paper
Yeah.
and all that. The fear was really contagious. You could see it on Facebook. Everybody was getting sucked right into it. And so, just as you said, the and fear, of course, is vibrates very low energetically.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to, as you were saying, get up there and show up as our best self. And that becomes, like you were saying, a ripple effect. It's contagious, and it all starts from you and goes outward and affects everybody. And it's like the same infectious or contagiousness, just like the virus.
Yeah.
This will spread outward.
Yeah.
And this is, we I believe we were all running around crazy, always rushing place to place, and now we've been given some time to pause and reset and look at things, like you're saying, look inward, to look at how we're living our lives. We don't have the noise outside. Everything's been shut down. We don't have anywhere we can go
Mm-hmm.
except to the grocery store. So we have a lot of time to reflect, and I believe this is a time for reflection as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And I think I love how you said fear is contagious, and fear can be so contagious. It's like the news, right? People watch the news because it hooks you, but it's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to help you sleep any better.
No,
And
quite the opposite.
absolutely. And when you look at anything in the world, there's the world operates by law, right? There are laws, there are universal laws like gravity. It's keeping us sitting in our chairs right now. I mean, we think it's simple, we
True.
take it for granted, but gravity keeps us planted right where we are, unless we were in space, which is probably a safe place to be right now.
True, yes.
And so everything has a polar opposite, right? Everything has two sides of the coin. And when you look at, let's say, color, for an example, you've got a black and white background. Black and white are polar opposites, but they're still color, right? Right and left are directions, right? They're going in opposite directions, but they're still directions. And same things happen when it comes to things like fear and faith. And fear often comes from a place of ignorance. And I'm saying ignorance in a loose way, not to offend anyone, but fear comes from a place of ignorance in the sense that you just don't know. People get fearful when they don't know something. And you don't know if you're going to catch this virus. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how long we're going to be off. We don't know. And those that are not as fearful in the society, they have a pretty good knowledge that historically things like this have happened in the past. Maybe not quite to this magnitude, but this isn't the first time something like this has happened in the world. And so when they look historically, there will be a period where this will all wrap up and then we will move back on with our lives. Will they be different? Absolutely. But they have the faith because they have a sense of understanding that things will change. We still have to be responsible, but when you focus on the outcome or the bigger picture and the knowledge behind it, that sense of fear dissipates. And also, like, sometimes we're fearful of what we don't know, right? But we also have a lot of faith. So the opposite to fear is faith. And when you have faith, you can't see fear or faith. But fear is really, really present when it's there, right? And it's like, to have faith that this is all going to work out is sometimes hard when we're sitting at home by ourselves. Like, if you're by yourself, it's much more difficult than at least if you have a couple people around. Hopefully they're not driving you crazy. But you do have faith that there is love in the world, right? And so there are things that we do have faith in that we can't see. Same as fear. They're both things we can't see, but they both exist and they're the opposite sides of the coin. So the more you can really tune into that faith, the better it will be, the more knowledge you can get about what the possibilities can be. Just like, and you're doing these webinars to inform people, to bring people's awareness and level of awareness up. That's a beautiful thing you're doing, because that's going to help so many people out there.
Right. And when you say that about the unknown and the faith and the fear, which is true, fear is, and that's what happened. We lost control. It's so uncertain. So everybody got so fearful. But at the same time, everything went down and everything got closed so quickly, and so much changed so rapidly in the maybe in a few days, I think, even to the point where Las Vegas is shut down. And all the museums closed, and the Louvre closed, and in Italy everything closed. Everything changed so much, and nobody would ever have believed that if you had told them that this was possible.
Right.
So just flip that around to good and kindness and dreams being realized. Why can your dreams not be realized? Why can you not change the world? If things could go that way, why can't they go the other way, with kindness and love and community coming together?
And they absolutely can. I was actually just reading, there's a book, it's called Feeling is the Secret. I love it. It's by Neville Goddard. And it's something I've been reading and sharing with my clients, and sharing with, I've done a couple of programs in my Facebook group in the past few weeks. And he really talks about energy. The energy you bring to something is so key. And when you're putting a certain level or intensity of energy towards something negative, like you said, people wouldn't have imagined that museums and and
Well, nobody would, to me,
anything could shut down.
Sports being
Oh yes,
canceled. Like,
sports
these are
even
the
worse than
sports.
music, right?
I think
Gotta
that's
be the
like,
sports. When the sports cancel, the world is almost over. It's on hold, right? But the energy that goes to the negative, going with that law of polarity, you need the equal or even a more intense level in the opposite direction to counteract that.
right.
And so it's math, right? And so it's like, if you've got this, like, let's say level 80 of intensity going in the poo-poo direction, then you need a higher level to counteract that in the positive direction. And so right now we're looking at, a lot of times we're looking at our current reality. And whenever you look at your reality and it's not what you want, it's kind of hard to face. It's like, it can be a real downer, right? And it doesn't change the fact that that's the reality. Like, I don't want to make it light that people are out of work and people are ill, people are dying. Like, that's not a great thing. However, when you put negative emotional intensity and your energy into that, that's not helping the situation globally, in your life, in your energy. That's not going to help you that's not going to help you digest your food better. That's not going to help you sleep better. That's not going to keep you healthier on a cellular level. The good thoughts you put into your body affect you on a cellular level, and so do the bad thoughts. Every bad thought you think, it's like it affects your neurology and touches every single one of your cells. So every bad thought you think gets repeated in your body into your unconscious mind 70 trillion times. So it's not just one bad thought, it gets repeated in every cell of the body. And that intensity is often really intense because we want to be passionate, right?
Right.
So we have to practice and train ourselves to do the opposite. And that's not an easy thing because we don't grow up doing that.
No.
We're not trained this in school. This is like adult school 101 when we're like, oh my God, I better make some changes because I didn't learn this in school. I didn't learn this growing up. I love my family. I love my teachers, but my Eastern European background was not conducive to positive thinking and moving forward in a good direction. It's just not how we were raised. And these are things that me and my friends and my circle of people have had to go out and seek because we found the value in it.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Definitely, it's not something that is taught at all.
No.
At all. And everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything in the world is energy. So just this time right now that we have, because generally more people do have time, at the very least, you're not going anywhere, so you don't have that commute time.
Absolutely.
There's so many people offering free master classes, or just I do see a lot more positivity now in social media. And again, that's contagious, right? So if you are putting out positive things on Facebook, even with the Facebook algorithm itself, it will show you more positive things. So, and there's a lot of learning out there. If people are interested in, this is a time to spend on some personal development.
Absolutely.
Look inside and become a better person, as you were saying. I know that you've put out some master classes you've been doing, and you already, in terms of business, how have you shifted in your business?
I wouldn't say for me it's been a huge adjustment.
Right.
Certainly, most of the work I did was primarily digital anyway with my clients. There were some client sessions that I did do one-on-one, and I preferred to do that way. And so I can easily transition them to digital means. But most of my work I have been doing online already. I had live events. I love people. I love speaking. I love being around people. So I do miss that aspect. But I'm doing more online events, and I'm actually finding, because of the need to get material out so much faster and to bring resources to people so much faster, I'm really focusing. I guess the biggest shift is just focusing on adding even more value as is relevant. And so 2 weeks ago, I put on a masterclass called Stop It, Eliminate the Mental Chatter So You Can Thrive. Had really terrific response with that. Just this past week, I've been doing a week-long series from serenity to prosperity. And both of those are available in my private Facebook group. And then, I'm still working with clients one-on-one that really want to take things to another level, and within my group programs as well. So it's ticking along, and it's beautiful. But I think just being of service is the biggest thing.
Well, that is it, exactly. This is the time that to give clients value, to be of service, to reach out to clients, just to see how people are doing. Even if you're not in the same business like you are, in terms of coaching, if you're, you have products or something like that, this is the time to reach out to clients and just serve, and create content as well.
And I think sometimes, I know for my business, I didn't have a major adjustment, but some businesses, like I think we chatted earlier about hair salons and nail salons, you can't necessarily have people come in. So this is the opportunity to get creative, right? In times like this opens your channels, let's say energetic channels, up for peak creativity. And we have something called mental faculties. And this is something I really work with my clients on, because it's so key. These are tools that were given at birth for free, but we're not really given an owner's manual for how to use them, right? And even things like creativity, it's such a simple sounding thing, but some people are like, well, I don't know how to be creative. But when you do tap into that creativity in a really effective way, that's when you come up with solutions to people's problems. That's when I heard, I haven't looked this up, but I heard that Airbnb happened in the last, was created or innovated in the last recession. And I'm like, wow, okay, so big companies, world and global impact happens during these times and as a result of these times. And that's a really beautiful thing. It's like, is life going to be the same? No. Is life going to be good? Absolutely. Whose responsibility is it? Yours. Because you can choose to focus on what's right, or you can choose to focus on what's going on. And the choice is yours. So
true. It's all about perspective.
It is.
You can't control anything with respect to what is going on with the virus, except for keeping safe and doing as the government has asked you to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's all about perspective. And if you let yourself let your mind start talking about that fear, you can really sink into a rabbit hole and stay in bed all day or something like that. So
there are people that do, because that's the reality.
Definitely there are. And it's definitely hard for some people, I'm sure, that are like living alone. But at least we do have the technology with Zoom and other things like that, where you can actually it's almost the same as if you're actually physically meeting the person. And you can, we did a dinner party last Saturday with 3 couples.
Oh, I love it.
On Zoom. We can't go to each other's houses, but at least we can do that.
And have conversation.
And have conversations, and then at least you're having a different conversation. I've been on Zoom all the time since it started, because doing these interviews and just having coffee with other people through Zoom and things like that. But so you can get sucked into that rabbit hole, but it's up to you. It's a choice. And I think having a routine is very important right now too, because everybody's routines have been knocked out. With this, especially with the kids being home. Depending if you have, kids in school or not, they're at home. People are working from home. People that work corporate jobs working at home. So all of a sudden you might have a full house of, both parents working at home and then the kids. And then what do you do? So, and a routine sets the mood, sets the tone for the day, right?
It does. And we are creatures of habit. We love rituals. Sometimes we think as adults we need to, just go with the flow, but part of your day could have some flow, but there is structure. When we wake up, I don't drink coffee, but I know people that drink coffee. There is a time and a place you need to have your coffee, right? You have to do it in a certain order, and you don't want to mess the routine up if you live with a coffee drinker, or if you love your coffee, like that is a ritual. And so even when we think of little rituals that we had before and we might have now, those moments, maybe not structure your whole day or every part of your day, but at least in some of those moments and really continuing to respect them and honor them, like you said, are so, so key. One thing that I came across in this time is 3 principles that are really key to crisis intervention. And the first is repetition. So when you have your routine, you generally repeat it day after day after day. Or when you're focusing on the positive thoughts, you're repeating them, you're practicing. Or if you're learning some new information, you keep repeating it. And even with the messages you're giving, right? Everyone's going to hear a different perspective, but the overall message is going to be the same. Why do we still listen? Because we need repetition. Our brain thrives on it, and it's going to help us move forward in this time. The second thing is connection, and like connection with people. And whether it's through a Zoom party, or picking up the phone, or maybe even just watching a Facebook video or something, some kind of connection. There's networking groups all over the place. Like if you don't know where to go, there are online networking groups that are having like tea together or coffee together. And that is so wonderful, because if you need that, go. Other people are there too, because they want that connection. And then the third thing is innovate. And that's where that creativity comes from. So repetition, connection, and innovation. Those are 3 simple things that are so key to overcoming times like this.
True. That's so true. And now you just reminded me of what I was going to say before. I heard on another webinar how this is the time that you will see some billionaires will be born out of this. Basically, the ones that innovating, like you were saying about Airbnb, you'll see some creative ideas turned into companies that will become big corporations, big companies in the future.
And more millionaires, more billionaires, more prosperity will be created from this time and from times like these than ever and any other time. And I think sometimes some people listening at home might be like, well, that's great for those people, but I could never do that. Well, if you start with that thought, you know what? You don't get what you want. You get what you think about. Right? We don't get what we want. We get what we think about. So if the first thought that comes to mind is, well, it's okay for them, but not for me, you're setting yourself up to fail before you even try. What's the worst thing that could happen if you try? Maybe you don't make $1 billion. Maybe you don't make $1 million. What if you make 100,000? Maybe you don't start a brand new business, but maybe you learn the tools and skills to lead a company or get a better job or a better position than you had before. Right? What if you learn a whole new trade or a whole new skill, or find a solution to someone's problem and start your own company? And I don't know how to do that. Well, you know what? There's someone else out there that knows how to do it and doesn't have your idea. And so it's these are simple sounding things. When you're in the I don't know how or I don't know what, that's the energy that's not going to get you there. And I think when it comes to your thinking, that's the power of the unconscious mind. This is where I do what I do, because I was stuck and I really wasn't using my mind very effectively. But the better I've trained my mind to work, the more I can help people, the more success I see in clients, the more success I see in myself. And it all starts with the mind. And it sounds so basic and so simple, but school really doesn't teach us how to think. It teaches us how to do.
Yeah, it definitely does not. I also think that you're going to see some changes to the education system going forward as a result of this as well, because it's so archaic.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. The thing is how much of our how much of our conscious brain is used versus the unconscious mind,
Yeah.
right?
Most of the
That's
education system actually uses the conscious mind.
right.
That is responsible for 4% of the results you actually get in life, whereas the unconscious mind is responsible for 96%. And
Right.
so that's not the part. Like, I think teachers are wonderful. They do an incredible job with students,
Yes.
but the system is not designed to educate or to teach and to really tune into that unconscious mind at
No.
a systemic level. And so the more tools and resources you can get to really start to tap into that and harness it, like when you tap into your 96%, all of a sudden, oh, how did that happen? It just worked. Oh, well, I got a new client. Where did they come from?
Right.
Oh, I had this inventory that was sitting on my shelf, and someone called me because they had outfits and they wanted to feel better working from home. Right?
Right.
That's when
Yeah.
just things out of the blue just start to happen when you get yourself to a really calm state and are open to that. And I think initially I actually did I had a guest on my from Serenity to Prosperity series this morning, and we were talking about I don't know if you know Andrea Wachesson. She's phenomenal. I've worked with her for like a dozen years.
Okay. No,
Okay,
I don't think I
wonderful.
do, but I
You'll
will
get her.
definitely check it out. Yeah.
She's very energetic, very energetic. But we were talking about the importance of like getting help when you need it, right? We all want to do things ourselves, but sometimes there are certain things you can do yourself and self-manage. And then there's other times you actually need or would benefit so much more from having someone else help you. And if you're feeling like you are stuck and you can't get out of it, now is the time to say, okay, hello, I think I need some help. Because
Definitely.
that's going to help you get out of that spiral. That's going to help you move so much faster, because you can stay there and try to Google all your solutions. But if what you've been doing hasn't been working, if you haven't gotten the result, it's time to try a different strategy. That's where that innovation comes from. And so really feeling open to reach out to people for help when you do need it.
Right. And this is a great time for that as
Yeah.
well, because everybody's wanting to serve, and people do have some more time to help others, and
Yeah.
they really want, so it is a good time. You have time to spend learning a new skill or learning whatever it is, and
Mm-hmm.
also other people have more time to help you with it, so that you're in a better position when we do come out the other side of this,
Yeah.
to move forward with your business. Or even if it doesn't even necessarily have to be business, it could just be personal development, new habits that you might want um, to make going forward. And I know a lot of people are finding that they're spending more time in nature
Yeah.
because of being isolated in our homes. You want to get out and get some sunshine, and it's not, the weather's getting nicer now this spring, so people are finding that they are actually like enjoying nature, whereas
Mm.
before they would say they didn't have time for a walk or things like that, and now they're
It's a
finding the time.
necessity.
And it is, yes, it is a necessity, but there's so many people that we're just going so fast again, here to here, and like just rush all the time, and we've been all asked to slow down now, so it's
Mhm.
a great time for that, for personal development, anything, and healthy eating as well,
Yeah.
right? Because now we're having to cook at home all the time.
Right. And I mean, even with that, if you're finding you're eating potato chips all the time, well, maybe reach out to a nutritionist. If you're finding you're sitting and you don't want to go for a walk, but you want a community, um, go find an online movement class. There's so many of them out there.
Oh,
Um,
there are so
you-
many, and all the people with yoga studios and fitness gyms, independent ones, are doing classes online because
yeah.
they have to service their clients.
I have a 2-year-old, and just this week we got notification that there's going to be soccer classes twice a week online. and
Oh,
must have the supervision of an adult because I have a 2.5-year-old. They said an adult must be present, and also music class. So he goes to music class at the Royal Conservatory. So they're adapting
so
to
now they're moving it online.
meet. Yeah. And so is it as ideal as getting together? No, but you know what? It's something, and it's going to give them an opportunity to have and tap into that routine that they had before, especially like for kids, that's
Yes.
huge. And they keep asking, are we going to go to music? Are we going to go do this? Not today, right? Maybe in a few weeks, maybe next year, where it's closed down.
Yeah.
Now they can at least tune into those things they love the most. So
Right. Yeah. And it's got to be a difficult time for some of the younger children because this is, well, I mean, it's something it's all uncharted territory for us. So
yeah.
imagine the children being, with the unknown and everything like that. So yeah,
And I think
routine helps.
I guess one thing I wanted to just point out to parents at home, when a child prior to the age of 7 to 9, there's a point in that time where children develop a reasoning faculty, and so that conscious mind fully adapts. But prior to that, they don't have a filter in their mind. So everything they hear, see, experience, feel prior to the age of 7, for sure, maybe up to the age of 9, goes right into their unconscious mind. They may not say it, they may not articulate it, they may not be able to express it, but everything you're saying and doing and expressing around your children is going right into them. And so I just want to really caution parents, like if you are concerned about something or if you're not feeling good, really be careful the messages that you're giving your kids, because
Right.
how you feel about it is being projected on them tenfold. And that's going to last, and that's going to stick with them their entire life, and they won't even know where it came from. And so if you have done something, don't feel so bad about it. I mean, we all do that. We all grew up like that. But now that you have the awareness that that is possible, now is your job and responsibility to start shifting that and changing that. Start focusing on what's good that's happened today.
Right.
What was the best part of your day? What did you like most about going for a walk today? Tell me something you learned about yourself when you were sitting for 5 minutes of quiet, 2 minutes of quiet time, right? So really focusing on the positive. Oh, there's crazy things happening right now. Well, what good can come of this? Your kids might come up with your creativity for you because they're way more creative than we are. Anything is possible for children.
Yes, exactly.
We
always think, we always, just go back to your childhood when you didn't understand why you can't fly in the sky on your own or things like that. And your parents would always say, no, that's not possible. And that's exactly it. We get shot down as children. That's, but you're so creative as children. I was going to say something else now. What was that? I think I've lost my thought. Sorry. Lost my thought there for a second. But that's it. The gratitude. Yes. Gratitude. Very important now to express gratitude. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the practice of having a gratitude journal or having a gratitude practice. Some people do it at night, 3 things you're grateful for. Some people do it in the morning. Some people write in a journal, others do, different things. But I think this is a really important time to be grateful. And we're really, a lot of we're with this pause and everything shut down, you can really notice what you are grateful for and what you may have taken for granted beforehand, before all of this happened. So I think that the gratitude is huge. It
is. And if you're not grateful when you're doing your gratitude and you're doing it because you're forcing it out of you, stop, right? If you're not actually feeling gratitude, feeling is the secret. If you don't feel your gratitude, doesn't matter what method you're using, do it a different time. I think there's so many great guidelines and suggestions. Like I shared a 3-part gratitude series that we do. But I mean, if you're not going to be genuinely grateful or emotionally involved in it, don't do it. Maybe write a list of like my 10 favorite outfits instead, or something like, be silly, be creative, but do something other than like, oh, I have to be so grateful for this, but you're not really feeling grateful. So that's one thing that I noticed is I used to go through a gratitude practice, but some days I didn't feel grateful, but I'm like, got to get these 10 things on my list. And I'm like, okay, this is not healthy. This is not a good idea. And so I really had to reevaluate that for myself. And I'm like, no, I'm going to stop. And so I actually had to stop for a few days to go, this isn't working. But now when I bring myself to gratitude, some people have to start their day, and I love it. For me, I can't always start my day with gratitude. Sometimes I have to do it in the middle of the day or at the end of the day. So for me, my gratitude is, I have a very strict routine in the morning, but for me, my gratitude floats around throughout the day. I'm always grateful for things, but when I want to write it down, changes for me. And it took me a while to really notice that. But by the end of the day, something always comes up. And so really start tuning into yourself. You have the time, pay attention.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, because everybody's different for everything, and different things will work for different people.
Yeah.
That's a great point you bring up about the gratitude. If you're not feeling it and you're just going through the motions, then that kind of defeats the purpose entirely.
Yeah. Just try it. Try someone else's thing. If you like the sound of it, try it. But if it's not working for you, then reevaluate, because what you get most emotional about is what's going to stick. And that was the biggest learning lesson. And I think like I said, what you don't get what you want, you get what you think about, but you haven't been trained to think. And that's not your fault. But now that you're aware of that, it's your responsibility to start paying attention. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what you're doing. Go seek sources of reference. Go seek something bigger, something different. But go start asking better questions, because there's a chapter 3 in How to Think and Grow Rich. This is Napoleon Hill's book. Chapter 3 is faith, and the first paragraph in that chapter says, faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up that vibration, translates it into spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. So sometimes we pray for what we want, or we give gratitude, or we meditate, whatever variation of that. Here they said prayer. But faith is the head chemist of the mind. So what you think affects your physical chemistry in your mind. Right. And when your faith is blended with your vibrational thoughts, so what you're thinking, and you were saying like fear vibrates at a low level. Yes. And then you've got faith that vibrates at a higher level, or joy or love. Your unconscious instantly picks up any of those vibrations and translates it into your world. So whatever you focus on is real. Right. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. But what you focus on is real to you. And so that's all that matters. So is your reality the way you want it? And if not, here's your chance. Yeah, this is the time. This is the time to focus on that. And whether you can just start writing down different thoughts you have during the day, keep a journal maybe. Yeah. As a suggestion. Yeah. I'm going to be offering a couple more opportunities. I know some classes. So if people are interested in specifically doing mindset work, then tune in. I think I'll definitely be posting things in the Unleash Your Opulence group. That's my private Facebook group. So that's somewhere people can get in. If you're curious to learn more about this type of thinking. And so I do have a few more things in mind. We're just finalizing it over the weekend. So we're launching things 1 week at a time, just given that there are so many changes going on in the world. So, but there are definitely some resources there that you can tune into. I know people are still looking back at them and commenting and sending me private messages because with questions and comments, because I have found them helpful. So if you feel like this does resonate, then I definitely invite you and anyone else to tune in. So.
Yeah, okay. I will definitely put that information underneath this video when I put it up in my group. That's a great way to end this, I think. It's basically what, you know, what is it? What you think you become? Is that the saying?
What you think you become? Oh, what I just said today.
Something like that?
You don't get what you think about.
Yes.
You don't get what you want. You get what you think about.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, and that's basically it. And when we come together, as you were saying at the beginning of this, everybody shows up as their highest self. Everybody's vibrating higher, and we come together as a community, which I do see very much so in social media and just in the community in general. Everybody's helping each other, and people offering to go get groceries for the elderly and things like that.
Yeah.
We're coming together as a community. Everybody's vibrating higher, than we are going to get through this, and we're going to be better humans on the other side of it as well. That's what I feel. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Larisa, for your time. It was great to have this conversation with you. And again, I will be putting your information underneath this video when I put it up. And thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.